Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to tackle something that sounds like it's straight out of a spy movie. How to prove you know a secret without ever revealing what it is. Let's dive right into the wild world of zero-knowledge proofs. So let me ask you a question, and it's a real brain twister. How could you possibly prove that you know a password or a secret formula, or anything really, if you're not allowed to actually tell anyone what that secret is? It sounds completely impossible, doesn't it? Well, this is the exact puzzle a revolutionary piece of cryptography was built to solve. And the solution has a name, the zero-knowledge proof, or ZKP for short. Put simply, it's a way for one person, the prover, to convince another person, the verifier, that something is true, without giving away any extra information at all. It's all about proving something is true while keeping the why or how completely private. Now, to really get our heads around this, we're going to use a classic story that makes this whole abstract idea crystal clear. So let's take a trip to Alibaba's cave, where we're going to meet our two main characters. Peggy, she's our prover, and Victor, our skeptical verifier. Okay, so here's the setup. Imagine a cave shaped like a donut, with a single entrance. Deep inside, there's a magic door that connects the two sides of the path, but you need a secret password to open it. Peggy claims she knows that secret password. Victor, he's not so sure, and he wants proof.
So here's what happens. Peggy goes into the cave all by herself. Once she's inside, she can go down either path A or path B. The crucial part here is that Victor stays outside. He has absolutely no idea which path she chose.
And now for the test. Victor walks up to the entrance and just randomly shouts out a path. Let's say path B. Now, if Peggy knows the secret word, this is no problem. If she happened to be on path B already, she just walks out. If she was on path A, she just whispers the secret word, opens the magic door, crosses over, and comes out of path B. See? If she knows the secret, she can always come out the side Victor calls. But wait a second, you might be thinking, what if she just got lucky? And you'd be right. If Peggy didn't know the secret, she'd basically be guessing which path to go down. She'd have a 50-50 shot of being on the correct side by pure chance. So one success doesn't prove anything. The only way for Victor to be sure is for them to do it again and again and again. And this is where the power of probability just gets awesome. If they do this little experiment just 20 times, the odds of Peggy getting lucky by guessing the right path every single time plummet to less than 1 in a million. At that point, Victor can be pretty darn sure she's not just guessing. She has to know the secret. So this cave story, it's not just a fun little tale. It perfectly lays out the 3 fundamental properties, you could call them the magic rules, that every single zero-knowledge proof has to follow. Let's break them down. First up, we have completeness. This one's pretty simple. If you're telling the truth, the proof should always work. An honest prover, like our Peggy, who really does know the secret word, will pass the test every single time, without fail. Rule number 2 is soundness. Now, this is the flip side, and it's what prevents cheating. It means a liar can't fool the system. A dishonest Peggy who doesn't know the secret word would eventually get caught. With every single repetition, her chances of fooling Victor shrink and shrink until they're basically 0. This is what makes the proof trustworthy. And finally, the big one, the one that gives this whole thing its name, zero knowledge. Think about it. After all those rounds, Victor is 100% convinced that Peggy knows the secret. But, and this is the absolute magic of it all, he has learned absolutely nothing about what the secret word actually is. Not a single letter. All he knows is that her claim is true. The proof revealed 0 extra knowledge. So that's a pretty brilliant idea, right? But how did we get from a clever thought experiment about a cave to actual usable code that's running all around us? Well, the journey started way back in 1985 in an academic paper. But for decades, ZKPs were mostly just a cool theoretical idea. The real game changer happened in the 2010s with things like zk-SNARKs, which made the proofs super small and efficient, and then later zk-STARKs, which made them even more secure. These breakthroughs are what finally pulled the technology out of the lab and into the real world. Okay, so this is way more than just a clever story. Zero-knowledge proofs are already out there, solving real, tangible problems right now. So where might you actually run into this stuff? One of the biggest places is in blockchains and cryptocurrency. You know, public ledgers are, well, public. Cryptocurrencies like Zcash use ZKPs to let you make transactions privately. This means you can prove you have the money to send without broadcasting your entire account balance, the amount, or who you're paying to the whole world. It's privacy on a system that's designed to be transparent. Or how about digital identity? Think about how many times you've had to show your entire driver's license with your address, your full birthday, everything, just to prove you're over 18 online. With a ZKP, you could just prove you meet the age requirement without revealing any of that other personal data. You only share what's absolutely necessary. But the applications get even bigger, like globally significant. Researchers have actually figured out how ZKPs could be used for nuclear disarmament. Imagine inspectors being able to verify that a country is dismantling a real nuclear weapon without ever needing to see the classified designs inside of it. It's a way to build trust when the stakes are literally as high as they can get. When you boil it all down, this one sentence really captures the incredible power of ZKPs. It's a whole new way of thinking where we can verify things and build trust without demanding that people give up their sensitive private information. And that leaves us with a final massive question to chew on. We've always been told that trust requires transparency, that you have to lay all your cards on the table. But zero-knowledge proofs are challenging that core belief. They're building a future where trust and privacy aren't enemies, but partners. What would a world built on that idea really look like?